How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Tuesday, June the 10th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. I want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to show support to my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I'm back with another video. And family, we must have a real to life discussion. And this discussion is concerning the Los Angeles riots and how we have immigrants, illegal immigrants, that are basically waving their country's flag while trampling on the American flag, doing things like burning the American flag, desecrating the American flag, which is is a crime. So basically, family, we have to talk about this because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the people that are going to suffer the most are the taxpayers that live in Los Angeles. And sometimes, in my opinion, I believe that them people showing their ass over in Los Angeles and destroying property, um, doing things like getting in altercations with law enforcement, throwing rocks and bricks and basically deadly missiles at law enforcement, and keeping in mind that them police, those are law enforcement officers, man, this just a job. This how they pay their bills. They are struggling just like you are. And for some, it's worth putting your life on the line for a mere, $1,000 a year, a couple thousand. When I say a couple, I'm talking about like 70,000, 80,000, 100,000. But my contention is this: there's no amount of money that is worth my life. My life is priceless. So you have that kind of nonsense going on. Now it's to the point that the president has to send the military down to assist with this situation. And we have to ask ourselves, how in the hell do we get here? But at any rate, family, I found a young man on these internet streets, and he said some things that really resonated with me, and nothing that he said do I disagree with.
So LA, I got another bone to pick with y'all. So let me get this right, LA. No, it's not even LA. Let me get these right, Mexicans, my nigga. So the reason why y'all down there burning down every fucking thing and tearing up everything is because you want to stay in our country, ain't that right? So why the fuck did I just see a video of a group of Mexicans burning the American flags last night? This is the shit I be talking about.
And family, I stand corrected. I just done some research, and I discovered, as of so, in Texas versus Johnson, 1989, this was a landmark case where the Supreme Court ruled that burning the American flag was a protected form of speech. So I apologize for that. So basically, you can pretty much burn the flag and just cut it up into a million pieces and do whatever you want to it. But at the end of the day, okay, that's fine. If a American want to burn the flag and want to cut it up into 1,000 pieces, okay, that's fine. I don't think no immigrant should be doing it. I certainly wouldn't be in their country and pissing on their country's flag, or burning it up or cutting it up into a million pieces. I would respect it. So yeah, family. So like I said, I stand corrected on that one. So, hey, I apologize for that. I don't know everything. I know at one point in time in my mind, it was a crime, and I guess it was, but until up until that landmark case, they ruled that hey, it's a freedom of expression. It falls up under it's protected by the First Amendment. So yeah, so it's pretty much freedom of speech, freedom of expression. So but let's get on with this young man.
Y'all sitting around here burning the American flag to a country that you want to stay in, burning that flag, but you waving around the Mexican flag to a country that you refuse to go back to, that you fucking scared to go back to. So I'm trying to understand. To let me know this. How is this doing all this damage and burning down cars and breaking into stores and looting all over the fucking city? Is helping y'all case. I mean, I could have sworn when you keep doing bad shit, that makes the person that don't like you think that you really are a criminal and you are really dangerous to our country. So please just let me know, Mexican community, how do this help y'all case for y'all to stay in our country by destroying every fucking thing and burning the American flag that the country that you guys are fighting to stay in, but you're burning it. Make it make sense, my nigga. Like, this is how I know y'all just down there doing anything. I seen a video, and I'm gonna post it. A video of a freaking dude. Why down there fucking tearing up the concrete, breaking the concrete and shit just to throw it at the police. This man got a whole fucking hammer breaking down the concrete and shit like he a fucking construction worker. Like,
And see, family, that's therein lies the problem. We ask ourselves, how do we get in this effed up conundrum? Well, I can tell you how we did it. There were people in place that believe there were people in place running the country that believe it was okay to just let our borders be wide open. And for a time, it worked. But now, when we look at the totality of the circumstances, our economy is at an all-time low. And the sad part about it is we at a point now where now the current administration, they got to play catch up because now they saying that our budget's so effed up that we got to start putting tariffs on people, which I believe that is not fair that we always were the country that always paid more just because we was the United States of America. I believe in equal, partnership, but at the same time, I understand that for the longest time, America was the big dog. So I get it. But at the end of the day, you know, they let these people pour into the country. And now we at a point where now the economy is effed up, people are out of work. Um, they're saying that, Social Security gonna be pretty much bankrupt, out of money in X amount of years. So it's just a lot going on in our own country, problems that we dealing with, problems that people that pay taxes are dealing with, but now we got to deal with this BS. So I understand that this whole, okay, the ride is stopped, and listen, all good things come to an end. All things come to an end, but especially good things. So you've been in the country for however long. By now, you should have already done something to start the process to get your citizenship. Something. And if you didn't do something to start the process, well, shame on you. Because I personally know a young lady that basically this young lady is from Portugal. And I knew her while she was going through the whole immigration process. Yeah, hell yeah, that shit costs money. I mean, over a period of time, yeah, it was, I think she paid up into the thousands. I don't know all into her, what all she paid, but I know that she was, she wasn't making a whole lots of money, but she still found a way and she had her own place. She was independent, but she still managed to get her citizenship. So if she could do it, you can't sit up and tell me that nobody else can do it. Nobody else can pull it off. So listen, At the end of the day, been in the country, you've been enjoying the fruits of somebody else's labor because we are the ones, the veterans, the American citizens that paying our taxes and paying probably more than what we should be paying. We're the ones that deserve to see the fruits of our labor. For once, we deserve to see the fruits of our labor for once. And it's not fair that we have programs in place that's supposed to ensure you as an American, if you work X amount of years and do what you're supposed to do, there should be some type of decent retirement waiting for you. Even if, up into if it's your 401k up into Social Security. There should be something in place. But if there's nothing in place and they're saying that what's in place is going to be depleted by a certain amount of time, well, then now that begs the question as to why are we here? Why do we have veterans that can't get assistance, but people that are not from this country can? This is wherein lies the problem. But I'm gonna go ahead and let this young man continue to cook.
Like, are you for real? Like, this is how you know y'all just out there just doing anything and it don't make sense. I just love how y'all believe that after all this happens, anything gonna change. Trump sitting right in his office said, yup, this is exactly why we doing what the fuck we doing. Look at them. A bunch of violent people. Y'all gotta roll. So I just want y'all to just think about that, though.
So, as this young man said, the president is somewhere thinking this is exactly why we got to get their ass out of the country. Now, I understand that there are those that are going to be affected negatively with this whole situation that the president got going on. I get it. People have came to this country that just want to work, just want to make an honest wage, ain't trying to bother nobody, ain't breaking no laws, nothing like that. That some of the Mexican people are good people. All of them not bad people. They're not. But the problem is, this is the problem, is that if we keep accepting everybody else's people into our country, there stands a reason that there's not going to be much left for the people that are born in this country, that are from this country. There's not going to be much left. And the pickings are getting very, very slim. But my thing is this. So if from my understanding of what's going on is, if you are an illegal immigrant, right, and you are a violent criminal, you going to El Salvador. So I think that's pretty much how that goes. So I understand that part. But what about the regular Mexican people who maybe, maybe they had a work visa. I don't know. Maybe it's they expired or as old, whatnot. Or maybe they just here legally, but they ain't bothering nobody. They go work their little job, ain't effing with nobody. They don't break the law, but it just so happened they here legally. And I understand they ain't bothered nobody, ain't broke no laws, but unfortunately they are here illegally. And that is illegally is the opportune word that we got to look at and focus on. That's what it is, because remember, it's getting to the point where we are at feast or famine, and the resources are getting scarce. And it's not fair for the taxpayers to keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. But hell, we pouring into a system that's not really it's not really benefiting us. And we are the ones who are supposed to benefit from it. It don't matter what country you go to. I mean, you go to Germany. Listen, the Germans got a nice system. Yeah, they pay astronomical taxes. And even I know Americans that live in Germany and they got their German citizenship. I think maybe they have a dual citizenship, perhaps, maybe still the US and Germany. I don't know how it works, but I know they live over there. And they pay an inordinate amount of taxes. But the thing about it is, when you retire, man, everything is free. I think they got free health care. they get their little so much money a month. I don't know exactly how it's designed. If somebody that's German might know more into it than me, but I would much rather pay higher taxes while I'm working and know that I got something for sure when I'm retired. So, but the fact is that these people down there showing their ass. They down there showing their ass because they're angry that they've been feeding off situation and benefiting from a situation, and now the gig is up. And unfortunately, you gotta go. But back to my original question. So the regular people that are not criminals, that they're just illegal, they're in the country illegally, they just send them back to their country. Okay, so what stops them from re-entering the country 90 days later, a month later, 2 weeks later, a week later? What stops them? Because if they not criminals and they're not going to El Salvador, then what stops them from just what I'm saying? If they just regular people that's here illegally, what and you just you boot them out the country, what stops them from coming back across the border again sometime in the future? In my mind, this thing is going to be a revolving door. I don't see how they are going to be able to get all these people that have been in this country for years and that have deeply inserted themselves in this country. I don't see how they going to get them all out. And the ones that you get out that you don't send off to prison in another country, well, if you just kicking them out the country, what stops them from coming back? To me, it's just going to be a revolving door. I don't see how they're gonna be able to do it. Me personally, I don't. But what I disagree with is them people down there in Los Angeles showing their ass and destroying property. That's not right because at the end of the day, what about the Mexican people that are here legally that pay their honest share of taxes? You making it harder for them. I get it, man. It's affecting a lot of people, but unfortunately, we at a point now where it's feast or famine. And if you had an opportunity to some way, somehow, at least start the process to get your citizenship, you should have done that. If you didn't, shame on you. But at the end of the day, them people don't love this country. They love what America can do for them. They love how they can benefit from this country. But they love how they can just drain and suck off and drain the resources and the perks. That's all they care about. They're opportunists. That's just what it is. If America wasn't the country that she was, man, they wouldn't be here. That's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's not right that you destroy property and you throwing deadly missiles at the law enforcement or the soldiers. That's not right. And if you think that is the best way to argue your cause after showing your ass, it's just like you renting to some folk, and for whatever the reason, these folks decide they're gonna start paying rent. So we gotta understand, I'm gonna rent you my house, but I expect $2,500 a month. And it is that's just what it is. And for whatever the reason, they've been doing fine for whatever the reason. But the day came that now they don't want to pay rent no more. They can't pay rent or whatever the situation is. Listen, I feel bad for you, but a contract is a contract. Business is business. So now we 6 months into this. You multiply 2,500 times 6 months. So now it's to the point. Now we got to go through the eviction process. So now these people know that there's a point in time because now I go through the eviction process, pay all my fees. So now I got to dump more money into this because these people don't want to do the right thing. I get it, man. You know what? You ain't got no place to live. I understand you lost your job, but the problem is that I'm taking an L too, and I can only do it for so long. I looked out for you for 2 months. You already like 2 months behind on rent. Hey, I got bills too. I have obligations too. So at the end of it, they done got served and they know eviction coming. So instead of them leaving and doing the right thing and leaving civilly, or they gonna destroy property. They gonna show their ass on the way out. That's what these folks doing. Now that they know the gig is up and if they not here legally, their ass gonna keep getting, they gonna keep coming for them. They want to show their ass on their way out. And that is not the way you do it. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.